Hi, thanks for coming into the bathroom today. This is a show called Robby Lobby. Robby is a producer for SB Nation, and he's really good at telling stories. He has a lot of stories. I don't know how many he has, but most topics we bring up, he has a good story about it. So I decided to start recording them. This one is really long, so settle in, get comfortable. This is the Ballad of Ben and Scooter Pooter.
This was a guy who I went to high school with. He was like an associate, like auxiliary friend. Anytime you knew he was like showing up, it was gonna be a problem. The guy would try to fight people, and like he would always, he was so awkward with women. Like he would just like make advances on girls who just had nothing, didn't want anything to do with him. It was bad. But he was never like in the crew, but he was he was around. He was going through some heavy shit because his dog died. His dog Scooter Pooter is whatever everyone called it. It was this old, like mangy dog, but it had been in his family for a really long time, and it died when we were in senior year in high school, and he took a turn. He was a weird guy, but when the dog died, he just like went off the deep end. A week or two after the dog had died, we got a snow day, and we went to my friend's house, and we had a bunch of wine, and we were drinking wine, and then we all kind of like fell asleep and different stuff like that. And Ben wakes up my friend Chris, and he said that he wanted to record this spoken word song that he had written. And we knew that he liked TATU a lot. He liked TATU a lot.
Two teenagers like Lena and Yulia, better known as TATU. Their debut album is selling strongly across Europe on the strength of the hit single, All the Things She Said, and a provocative video.
In this video, we sing about our love and we kiss.
Like, I don't know what he liked that it was the two girls, and he liked the imagery of them being lesbians, and he loved that they were Russian. It just like was important to him. So like that's all he'd talk about and listen to. But then so he woke up this day after drinking a bunch of wine, and he had scrawled out this huge like long like writings on the front and back of this like paper, and it looked like a crazy person. And he was in this room for like 2 hours, and then he comes out and he's like, Chris, you're the only one who can see this right now. So hours later, like Ben leaves, or maybe it was a few days later or something. Chris was like, you guys have to listen to this. I finished it. So basically what Chris had done was taken a TATU song, and then Ben had written this script and had done it in a microphone, and it was just like, TATU are lovely space creatures that came to this planet to spread joy and love. Years ago, they formed a cult that people started following them and loving them like mothers. Like that they were part of like this bigger like culture in this underground culture in Russia. And that it's fueled through cocaine and ecstasy and these crazy orgies that would happen in these like secret places. They only operate in secret tunnels and corporate helicopter pads. And it went on and just like painted this picture of TATU being this like, I don't know, it was crazy. And it was long. It was like 2.5 minutes long, this song, this thing, whatever you call it. It was, I don't know, like I don't think he actually believed it, but it was all from his imagination, and it was fucking beautiful. Scooter was the crux of where all the problems came from. That's what I think. He had the beloved dog, and it died, and he could not move on from it. I had a house party right at the end of senior year. This huge party. It was like out of control, like hundreds and hundreds of people. he was there, and he was like just that type of drunk where 1 second he's laughing and like hugging people, and the next he's like ready to punch a wall, and the next one he's, you know, trying to like, you know, kiss a girl, and then the next second he's trying to steal medicine. You know, it's just like he was out of his mind. But I go to sleep real late, and I'm laying in my bed, and my girlfriend's with me, and then all of a sudden I'm like sleeping, and I feel this like hot breath on my face, and I open my eyes, and he's right in my face, like sitting on the floor beside my bed, like looking at me in the face, and he's just like, and I remember his breath was awful, and he was just like, his eyes were crazy, and he like had a bunch of coke in his nose. He was just like out of his mind, and he looks at me and goes, "We got to go outside and do push-ups for Scooter Pooter." And like he's just like looking at me, and he's like dead serious, looking me in the eyes, like, "We gotta go outside and do push-ups." And I was like, "You're out of your fucking mind. I'm not doing that." I just, at that point, I had enough. I usually we placate to the guy and whatever, but at that point I was like, no way, and I wouldn't do it. And he goes, "Oh, okay," and he gets up, and he like, and then I was like kind of awake, because I'm like, oh, is my house getting like fucked up, because there's like so many people there. So I like got up, and I go, and I was in my living room, and I looked out the window, and Ben, and I remember it so clearly, it was like the type of morning where there's like mist, you know, like the mist had rolled in, and like you could tell that the grass was really like dewy, like had lots of dew on it, and like there was like, and you know, there's like tons of empty cups and like fucking cars parked everywhere. It was like a fucking movie. And Ben is out there with like 5 of my friends, and they're all doing push-ups in the lawn, and they're just going. They're just like, I don't know how many they did, but like a guy would quit and like just lay there like tired, and then start going again. Like Ben was leading like a drill, like a drill sergeant. These guys just like doing push-ups in this lawn. So like after he had gone to my room, or he had already collected some guys, maybe I was the last guy, but I was one of many that he approached with this to go in the lawn and do push-ups for Scooter Pooter.
2, good. 3, 4, 5, 6, good. 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent, good job. Way to work.
He joined the Navy for a few years and hated it, and like did everything he could to get kicked out. He was like an engineer, but he hated it there. So he like crashed like a transport truck trying to like get kicked out, like fuck up paperwork on purpose, and they just wouldn't kick him out. They would, like that's the caliber of people who are in the fucking Navy, this fucking guy. And then finally he found out that this was before the don't ask, don't tell, he went to a superior and was like, "I'm gay," and they kicked him out. So a year later, we hadn't seen the guy. He was in the Navy, and then finally he shows up at this party, and we're like, "Oh my God!" Ben was like huge. I think he was taking steroids or something, and he was like crazier than ever, and he was like really intense. And we were so there's this huge house party and music, and everyone's dancing and shit like that. And it's just like music's getting played from like an iTunes, like on shuffle, and then all of a sudden, TATU are lovely space creatures that came to this planet to spread joy and love. The TATU song comes on with his VO, and he hears it and he loses his mind. He thought the whole thing was like a joke, like we were playing a joke on him. But it just happened to come on, and he like smashed this window, and we had to call the cops on. Like we had to call the cops on our friend, because he grabbed this girl and was like gonna like hit her. Like he grabbed this girl and like was like threatening to hit her, and then like we were like talked him down from that, and then he like ran out. He ran through the door and ran out on the street, and the cops were just showing up, and they pull their guns on him, and he's like, you know, doing like the crazy like shoot me type thing, and he was like he was out of his mind, like drunk and like fucked up on drugs, and cop tackles him, and you know, like that stereotypical guy on the ground like screaming at the cops, that was this dude, and we're all standing there looking at him. That was the last time I saw the guy. He had some dark years. I think he was driving a rickshaw for a little while in Boston, and then he took his life last year. which is sad. But he was a tortured guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to live inside his brain, so I don't even know how he dealt with it. Well, he didn't deal with it, but it wasn't even that type of crazy where you're like, oh, my crazy friend. It was just like, anytime you knew he was like showing up, it was gonna be a problem. But he was just one of those friends that was like, we're all going out, and then like you're not gonna not invite somebody, or if they find out, you're not gonna say no, you can't come. So then they come, and then they like exactly what happens. Then Scooter Pooter.
Thanks for coming into the bathroom, guys. Now, back to the music.